Right, so in this video we're going to talk about something that is massively important. And it's so important, it's actually the difference between you getting results and you staying where you are now. This video and talk about how important this is. I'm going to use an analogy. And the analogy is that like, nah, don't want to go to work. I'll stay off today. And let's say you go to Wednesday, you do the same thing. Nah, it's rainy, it's windy, I'll just stay in bed, take the day off. And then you continue this trend throughout the month. Then it comes to the end of the month, you get your paycheck, and you're like, shit. You have no money for the rent, you have no money for food, you have no money for the kids, you've no money for anything. Would you let that happen? Chances are you wouldn't. And the reason is because you treat work as a daily non-negotiable. You go to work even when you don't want to. For this is because you need to go to work in order to pay your bills. You need to go to work in order to want to live. And when it comes to training, we need to treat our daily non-negotiables the same. Find ways to not follow through the actions that's going to bring us closer to our goals. And we'll be looking back at ourselves in the next 6 to 12 months and kicking ourselves for not putting in the work and not doing the actions to bring us closer. And we'll go around and around and around in circles around the house here. But why daily non-negotiables are so important is because motivation is unreliable. Motivation is like the weather. It's going to chop and change. Some days we're going to feel motivated to go to the gym. We're going to feel motivated to make our food, meal prep. We're going to feel motivated to take on the world. Other days we won't. Other days we'll feel like not doing anything. Other days we'll feel like not going to the gym. And that's down to motivation. Some days we're going to be motivated, some days we're not. But for us to progress, it requires standards. And we can't rely on feelings. And let's take a train for example. A train is not going to stop on its journey because it doesn't feel like it. The driver's not going to be tired and turn around and say, "Ah, no, I'm done for the day." And we have to treat our actions the same way as a train will go on. We have to continue on if the train is busy. We have to continue on if the weather's bad. We have to continue on if there's roadblocks. Even if it's delayed, we still carry on and continue on regardless. And that's why daily non-negotiables are so important. They are the things that keep us moving forward even when we don't feel like it. Now let's talk about what daily non-negotiables are. They have to be measurable as well. We have to turn around at the end of the day and be able to say, yes, we done a non-negotiable, or we didn't. They can't be wishy-washy. You can say, well, maybe I done 10,000 steps, or maybe I had 2,200 calories. If you are not measuring this and you're not tracking, how do you know? And then they have to be under your control as well. This is probably for me the most important. If you cannot control your daily non-negotiables and you're leaving them to someone else, whether it be waiting for someone to get the shopping in so you can eat healthy, or waiting for someone to give you a lift to go to the gym, it just won't work. They're your daily non-negotiables, so you need to take accountability to perform these. Otherwise, it's only a matter of time before someone else lets you down. Remember, they're your goals, not theirs, so you are responsible for doing what you need to do in order to achieve them. Now, what daily non-negotiables are not, they are not perfect. There's a big difference between getting things done and getting things perfect. Even if your workout is not perfect, if you get it done, perfect. Even if your food is not perfect, but you get your calorie amount, great. They are also not all or nothing. They're not something that you do religiously for 2 weeks and then drop off. No, you find it challenging, you find it tough, but you do it regardless. Then week 4, you start to intensify the workout. You start to find efficiencies in the process of going to the gym. You start to pack your bag the night before. You start to have your gym gear ready. So you just make it much easier to go to the gym. Then month 6 comes around, and because you have done all these actions and you have not strayed away from your daily non-negotiables, you start to see results. You'll start to see results much sooner than this, but really noticeable after 6 months. And in the grand scheme of things, it looks like a long time. It's really not. You know how fast 6 months goes. Just look at how fast the years are going. But anyway, going off on a tangent here. In 6 months' time, you start to feel fitter. You'll look better in yourself. You'll have more energy. You'll start to become the role model that you set out to become. And then in a year's time, well, in a year's time, you will look back at yourself and think, look at the person I have become. You'll look back at all the changes you made, all the actions you put in, and you'll look at yourself at January 1st, 2026. Then you'll see yourself in December 31st, 2026. You'll be a complete, different, new and improved and better person. And I guarantee you that. And the reason I guarantee it is because the ways of having a takeaway instead of preparing your food, you'll negotiate in your mind of why you should have that crunchy nut or dairy milk in the fridge. If you have your daily non-negotiables, you won't. You'll know exactly what you need to do and you'll do it or not do it. Let's move on. Right. This is the last slide that I'm going to show, and then I'm going to move on to a actionable resource that you can use in order to get your daily non-negotiables in check. So look, why non-negotiables matter is because they reinforce your identity. Every time you do a daily non-negotiable, whether it be preparing your food, going to the gym, that is evidence to yourself to say, I am willing, capable and able to do this. And once you do this a certain amount of time, it becomes who you are. It becomes your identity. If you go to the gym a certain amount of times, you are going to identify as a gym goer. If you eat healthy a certain amount of times, you are going to identify as a healthy eater. That is going to become you. And once you get to that point, it's going to be much harder to stray away from healthy eating or going to the gym because you feel like you're losing your identity. And this matters most. I know I said no more slides, but just going to hit home on this. This matters most on the days that you don't want non-negotiables, and it's broken down into 4 key areas. First is the action, your daily non-negotiable. Go to the gym, 10,000 steps, prepare food, wherever it may be. You're going to explain why this is important. And this is important because you are selling the action to yourself. If you convince yourself that going to the gym is important to you, if you convince yourself that meal prepping is important to you, which chances are it is, you are going to be more likely to follow through the action consistently. Then the last 2 points are really important also. It's what friction you will face and what you can do to overcome this friction. And these 2 points for me is accountability. It's ownership. It's ownership to take this daily non-negotiable and do it regardless. You are facing, the roadblocks to doing this head on. You're thinking of ways to get around this. For example, if it's say going to the gym, but you're going straight from work. It could be bringing your gym gear to work as well so you can go straight home before the gym closes. Or it could be if you're busy preparing your meals on a Sunday to make sure that when you're in work and when you're busy with family life, wherever it may be, you have your meals prepared and ready. So look, I'm going to leave it there. I've done a lot of waffling on this, but hopefully I found it useful. Any questions you have, drop